Something I'm actually super passionate about is how do I make the best engineer also a pretty solid PM? So while it may not be their primary skill set, I would love when there's a customer conversation and my engineer can lead the conversation themselves.
If you're an engineer, think about this. When was the last time you talked to a customer yourself? How about product managers out there? When was the last time you built your own prototype? There is a line between these two roles, of course, but the best PMs and engineers I worked with, they cross that line pretty regularly. Today, I'm with one of those PMs, Nikhil Dewan. He's the product leader of Amazon CloudWatch. He traveled from Bay Area, joined me in Seattle to take a short walk and talk about what makes PM and engineering relationships work. I'm Mustafa Torun, and this is Walk the Talk, Builder Conversations. We talked about this new incoming project. It's a good time to talk about product manager and engineer relationships and what makes that a good or a bad one.
The product engineering relationship is my most cherished one at Amazon, if you will. My most beautiful memories of my journey here at Amazon's actually been on specific projects where I've worked very, very closely with an engineer I love with all my heart because they are able to wear the hat of the PM and support me on the working backwards.
He's not talking about me.
Mustafa is great too. It's earning the trust with someone who you can truly share the journey of the product life cycle, from like conceptualizing that early idea to working backwards with the customer, truly diving deep into the requirements, to actually in the design phase where you're faced with those tough technical choices, both the PM and the engineering working together to ensure that the technical choices that are being made actually lead to the right end customer experiences. When I started on the working backwards, I had a lot of open questions in my mind. So I wrote up my list of questions that I would be going to ask all of our enterprise customers. What worked for me is in my partnership with this engineer I'm talking about, I shared that list with the person. And the person said it would be even better if you could add these 3 questions, which would help the engineering team build the right designs or dive that one level deeper, which often isn't there in some of our typical PR fact processes. So we actually jointly put together that list of questions that went out to the customer. In fact, the best part was he was so excited and motivated to join the customer calls. He didn't see it as, hey, this is a PM responsibility. Your job is to come and tell me the customer requirements. But he was like, I'm eager to directly hear the voice of the customer. He was shadowing me and learning about how I ask open-ended questions to the customer, how I try not to like solution in the discussion and really try and dive deep and understand the use case. And as the person got more comfortable with my style of diving deep with the customer, I would actually open the floor to the person and say, what questions do you have for the customer? And then the person would ask the next set of deep dive questions. And because at the end of the day, our AWS customers are our operators, developers, they were able to appreciate the level of rigor we go as at Amazon, as we work backwards to understand the customer requirements. I think that mutual partnership where we were able to together basically dive deep and understand the customer requirements. And then after each call, we would actually like sit down and debrief about the learnings we had. And we also realized that there were certain themes that were coming out from these customer conversations, which were the same. But then we knew that the next 5 conversations that we had to have had to go probe on a different aspect that we weren't as clear about. And that would have become a blocker as we did the technical design. So it's really, I think, in each phase, I would expect the PM and engineering to work together as one team.
I think that's the key, right? If PM and engineer, they have their line in the sand, this is your responsibility, that's my responsibility. And you go talk to customers, you figure out what the requirements are. And then I am the engineer, I'm going to design this and I know it best. That territorial behavior, I think, is not.
No, for sure. The owner of the PR FAQ is not just the PM. I would say my lead engineer working on the project is a co-owner. And I feel similarly that while I am not the one writing the technical design doc, I feel a very important part of the technical design doc. It's on me as well to review, be part of the discussions, ensuring that the options that are being considered aren't just looking at the pros and cons from an engineering complexity or a technical delivery standpoint, but really looking at it from a customer experience perspective.
I've seen this so many times. Engineers, they get so hung up on their existing system, how it's implemented. I find it very useful to invite the product manager to design reviews in the brainstorming sessions. If we have the PM in the room, they bring their lens to the conversation. In those conversations, PM needs to understand where the engineering coming from. It's not You are the engineer, I'm the PM. We have our job responsibilities and we only talk through PRFAQ. You take a PRFAQ, I deliver the design. That's not it. It's a partnership.
I think all of these docs that we write, I don't see them as PM and engineering docs. I see them as docs that PMs and engineers do as a team. Something I'm actually super passionate about is how do I make the best engineer also a pretty solid PM? So while it may not be their primary skill set, I would love when there's a customer conversation and my engineer can lead the conversation themselves because they're that close to the process of how we gather customer requirements, that close to the deep dive. I would like to believe that the engineering team doesn't invite me to a technical review because they're checking a box, but they invite me because they're like, we truly believe Nikhil as a product leader would help make this design better.
Right.
So I really think that's a very important thing.
I also like when a PM is hands-on.
Yeah.
They think like an engineer. They get their hands dirty.
Tell me about an example where you have witnessed a product manager like that and you've seen them do it well.
One that worked is PM. After talking to a couple of customers, they came in and they said, "Hey, here's this like quick thing I put together with our existing stuff. I tried this, I tried that." So I created this scrappy version of our product. So that helped me also shape my thinking.
I think what you're highlighting is actually a core Amazon leadership principle. It's about earning trust. Engineering counterparts are able to get the trust of a PM when there are partners in figuring out the customer requirements and thinking through everything from product definition to prioritization of launch deliverables to when a launch has happened, figuring out like how can we actually boost the adoption of the product? What would it take? And I think the other way around, like I think for PMs to earn the trust of the engineers, you do have to be hands-on. And I will admit it's a tough skill, but I do believe that look, it is absolutely critical for product managers and designers to be really hands-on with the product because we're a very technical company. At the end of the day, customer obsession means we need to know what the customer does. And what better way to find out than doing it yourself?
I think that's a great way of closing this.
I really enjoyed my discussion with you, Mustafa.
A pleasure to have you. Thanks for your time.
Yeah. Do you think the lighting here is too much? Or is it okay?
Now you got the button. You want to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Mustafa, for inviting me to your show.
They get their hands dirty. They not the best spot to have a conversation.